Any notes? Anything I can look at over here? Aw, doesn't seem to be. I do have this, though. I wonder if all of those tomes led to different parts, but since I'm huffing it on foot, I'm getting everything anyway. No, it doesn't seem to be anything behind that tent. I'll run a little bit along the perimeter just to see if there's anything of interest. And then I'll... Oof. Some stuff fell down. And then I'll enter the main structure. I wonder what it must have been like a long time ago with everything, with everyone milling about, seeing these grand structures. Ah, that's gorgeous. Yeah, so those are the docks and such. I wonder what lies beyond. More cities? Another port? Stuck on a little pebble. There could be something of interest up there. Yeah, why would they... Oh, I can't actually access that from the staircase. Maybe there is something up there that I want to take a look into. Yeah, it's implying something's over here. Oh, do I have to jump? Going around. Oh, another gap. All right, anything over here? Unless it's just giving you the runaround. Is there anything in this corner? Maybe I'll look in the first person. No. I would think that that would impede you, but you could just see something that you required. Like a Relto slip or another tome. There has to be another reason why you're able to access this. Whoop. Yeah, it's sort of much easier to platform in the first person. Even though I don't like the fact that you can't see your character that way. Okay, back in the first person. Yeah, this looks to be the library. Can we enter it though? No. Maybe that's it. Is there an entrance that I just didn't see? No, I don't think so. Wait, is this something? Oh, no, it's... I thought for a moment that there would be a light and suddenly I'd be able to walk in from the lower level. But there doesn't seem to be a break in its impenetrable shell. Such a shame, though. There might have to be a link that goes directly into the library. Just can't access it now. Oh, wait a minute. There's a lower level? Okay, well I tried the upper doors. I wonder if I'll have any luck with the lower doors. Whoa! Oh, that scared me. Ah. Oh, more books? Huh. The Story of Myst, taken from book 28B. Translation Nick, first draft. In the time of Myst, In the 196th year of his reign, Jolatha, his mother, came to him in his bedroom. Now it was well known throughout the city of Myrta and his craving, lust for women, and none knew this weakness, a weakness of choice is more literal, more than his own mother. So it was that Jolatha brought with her the woman Ramel, who worshipped the tree. Ramel's beauty was well known in Dni, especially among those who worshipped the tree, and especially among the kings. Plural kings is here, although I don't know why. Maybe implied the whole king's palace or history? Not sure. But as it was, though the king could have any object in Dni, Ramel had been held from him by his mother until now, and she offered her son Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. But what are your purposes? The king asked. For do you think me so foolish as to give you anything you want for a mere woman? Of course not, my son. But as you know, you have watched Ramel from afar for many years. You have talked to your advisors and plotted the ways in which you could make her yours. But you have been unable to even look upon her so closely until this day that I have brought her to you. So do not think that I am so foolish as to believe that this woman is a mere woman. You have spoken truthfully. In fact, as I gaze upon her now, I have never imagined her to be so beautiful. She is like a statue, without flaw. But even so, do you think I would give you whatever you wish for even a woman such as this? Now, Jolatha was cunning, and Myrta was eager, for Ramel. And every day Jolatha brought the woman into the king's bedroom, and every day she offered her son the woman Ramel in exchange for her own purposes. And as the nights passed, Myrta became unsatisfied with those who were already his. He became spiteful of those who came to his bedroom, for none compared to the woman Ramel whom his mother continued to withhold from him. And finally, he could resist his mother's arguments no longer. And Jolatha came to his bedroom with the woman Ramel, and King Myrta began to speak. The woman has ruined my life. There was none like her in all my ages, and you bring her to this room night after night. Those I have found beautiful have faded in comparison to this one, and I no longer find pleasure in them. Therefore, I am no longer satisfied with anything, and I will not be satisfied until this woman is mine. What is it that you ask of me? Whatever it is, I will give you. You have my word. Does Ramel have any say in this? I mean, sure, he's the king, but she's like a priestess to the tree. Very well, my son. I will talk to you tomorrow. And Jolatha gave the woman Ramel of the worshippers of the tree to her son, and Ramel was King Myrta's from that day forward. At dawn of the next day, Jolatha came to Myrta while he was still sleeping and told him her purposes. The Guild of Writers has long had their rules, their restrictions, and their ancient oaths. But you realize, my son, that these words are old now, and no longer the ways of our people. Rinaref was responsible for them, and they are like a collar around our necks, growing ever tighter and preventing us from moving forward. It is time that we are freed. Even Myrta was disturbed. But there are none who would agree to this. The oath is as stone. It cannot be altered, for it never has been. And yet, not only do you ask me to change the oath, but contradict the things it says? And Jolatha grew angry. Are you so foolish? Do you think I ask you to carry out the impossible? There is but one thing that must be changed. One thing that will give us freedom. It is the Dni who have created the art as we know it, not Yahvo. Oh, so all this time they thought that their god had given them the art of writing, but she's saying that, no, the writers are responsible for their own works. Thus, since it is true, it is us who can determine the rules of the art, not the ancient religious writings. "They will view it as blasphemy," the king responded. "But I will do as you say." And so King Myerta spoke to the Guild of Writers. His words were well crafted, often from his mother, and his arguments strong, for they too Jolotha gave him. And his effort was great, for there was no other woman besides Ramel, and it was the woman that he lived for. However, though many in the Guild of Writers were easily convinced by the sharp words of the king, there was one who was not. Grand Master Tremal was old in age and wise beyond even his years, and his decision was hard. The word is a certain kind of stone that was considered to be the most hard and immovable, and he would not be moved. "Never will we change what Eilesh has written in the oaths. Never we will change what we have spoken for generations. Never will we allow a crack to be opened in the great wall of our guild. For it is tyranny that you seek. But tyranny is not the reason we exist." Oh. Tyranny, that was where the war took place. I wonder if this is going to get into the war. For Tremal could see the plans of Jolotha, even in the words of the king, and Tremal knew that if the ancient religious writings did not determine their fate, the hearts of men would rule, and there would be nothing to stop Jolotha from having her way. And so for 3 days Tremal stood to the words of the king. For 3 days the king would return to his palace and receive new word from his mother. For 3 days the anger of Jolotha burned against Tremal and grew stronger. And so it was that on the 4th day, when the king was no longer welcome to the guild, Grandmaster Tremal was found hanging from a tree, his body covered in blood. The king was sad when he heard the news, for he held no bitterness in his heart towards Tremal. But when Jolotha heard the news, she was overjoyed and ordered the king to the Guild of Writers to change the oath and carry out her purposes. But as it was, the death of Tremal had breathed boldness into the guild, and in unison they denounced the wicked evil that had killed their grandmaster and vowed that the oaths of their guild would never be changed and that there would be no more discussion. It should be there with ERE, but whatever. So Jolotha devised other plans, for she knew that even she could not change such determined. The same word was used above, the hardened stone, guildsmen. And King Myerta lived with Ramel, and he was satisfied with all those who visited his room again. Even as he was filled with pleasure, Jolotha plotted evil, and the city in which he lived grew weak. Probably ready for a Dr. Watson review. So that was about the king and Myerta and his deceptive mother and how they were trying to coerce the guild to change the art. Kedri's story. The story of Kedri. Taken from book 42b. Translation by Nick, first draft. Kedri loved his people, and the people of Dani loved their king, for Kedri did well in the eyes of Yavo and sought to serve those whom he led. In the 48th year of his reign, Kedri roamed the streets of Agera and was greatly disturbed. For even though all people, rich and poor, loved their king, Kedri saw that the entire island of, is it Agera? They always pronounced it Agera, but Agera was filled with those who were prosperous and those who governed Dani. "Where are my people?" Kedri asked those who walked with him. "All around you," they answered, pointing to the crowds that followed them. "Yet I do not see my people here. I see masters of the guild, and I see owners of our stores, but I do not see those who have option to join our guild or those who have built the stores. Where are my people on this island?" So the king called together his counselors and expressed his disappointments, and he ordered that a new place isn't right, but I'm having trouble with this word, not the usual district word either, although it might be a better translation, or home, he built on the island, and that the name of the place would be Shamathen. He ordered that Shamathen be made available, not to those who did possess the wealth and stature of the elite, but to those who were not so fortunate. Still, they were his people. And the area was built, and Kedri was joyful to see his people live in such a place. Same word again. A short while later, after the area of Shamathen began to grow, Kedri was walking through the city, conversing with his people and telling them of his plans, and Kedri was led to the common library because he wanted to see the ages that he heard his people talk of. And again, the king was disturbed, and he asked his advisors, "Where are the books that the great Denis have written?" "All around you," they answered, pointing to the rows of books that lined the shelves. "Yet I do not see the ages of our people here. I see ages that resemble failed school assignments for the students of writers. I see ages that not even those students would visit, much less a king. So I will ask again, where are the great ages of Denis?" So the king returned to his palace and ordered his counselors to bring his most prized book, The Age of the Kings, written during the reign of his grandfather, to the common library, so that the people of Denis might be able to see the skills of the great writers, even as he had seen them. And the people loved their king more than they ever had before. And so the king called his advisors and ordered them to add to the great temple, so that Yavo might be pleased, and so all of Denis could visit their god. Really, it's a form of Yavo again. I thought God made more sense, though. In his house, just as those with money, an inherited kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the opera house so that all of Denis could hear the skills of song of the people, just as those with money, an earned kind of money, were allowed to do. The king ordered them to add to the district of Bellari, so that the area started by the king's Rakari, by King Rakari, might not fall into disrepair, but be treated as all other areas of the city, and that all the Denis might live in prosperity, just as those with money, both earned and inherited, were allowed to do. And all the people of Denis grew to love their king more than they ever had before. Some trouble spots here. Seems there were a few different kinds of money words. Might need to help with those as well. The whole place thing. So it looks like the Denis actually made a distinction between how you were rich. If you were rich because of your work, or if you were rich because of whatever you were able to inherit. All right, and then the last book. Met Amen. The story of Met Amen. Taken from book 21D. Translation Nick, first draft. And a dark sickness spread through the city, and sores broke out on the skin of those they sickened, of the sickness touched. Might be better translated infected, but touched fits well with the literary style. And some began to die. The sickness came from Yeesha. Is it? Oh, it's Yeesha. Huh. Oh, this is the great disease, the one that the workers had brought back. Where the large trees grew and where the wood of Yemen was harvested. As it was there, the great fear in the houses of all those who lived with Yemen close to them. And so, great fear spread through the king's household, and through all those who worked in the halls of the guilds and those who looked over the city. Such fear overcame the minds of reason, and many began to flee the city and run to other places that were available to them. But King Me'amen was angry at those who ran, and was himself unafraid, literally not of fear. And so he called for the healer, Grand Master Shemef, to come to his room, and though Shemef was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. "Grand Master Shemef," the king asked his healer, "have you not read the histories of our people? Have you not been instructed in the ways of those who led your guild in generations before you? Are you not aware of the plague that this place has already seen?" My king, it is for these reasons that I am prepared to flee, for I know those who died and those who were unable to prevent it from taking hold of them. I know of this plague in detail." And the king answered, "Depart. I have no time for you, Shemef. Depart to your own age, and do not return to this place again. May it be that my eyes never look upon your face again." And Shemef departed from the king Me'amen, and he never saw him again. And King Me'amen called for Guildmaster Anim of the Guild of Healers. And though Anim was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. "Guildmaster Anim," the king asked his healer, "have you too not read the histories of our people? Have you not heard the ways of those who led your guild 3,000 years ago?"
My king, of course. It is for those reasons that I know what may happen to our people. It is for that reason that we must protect ourselves first, so that we may protect those who trust us for protection."
"It is not how I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may I never see you again," King Me'amen ordered. And King Me'amen called for Guildmaster Raman of the Guild of Healers. And though Raman was preparing to flee, he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. Just a little aside here, guys. These all sound like Aesop's Fables, and I absolutely love that. I grew up with so many of them. "Guildmaster Raman," the king asked his healer, "tell me that you have read the histories of our people and been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me you have heard of the destruction of the sickness that overcame our people 3,000 years ago." "Of course, my king. It is for those reasons that we must bring the ancient books to another age, so that we may study our records and learn the ways that we must fight. But to stay here would be suicide." "It is as I would have thought. Depart with your master, and may you never see the light of the lake again," King Me'amen ordered. Oh, the lake must be the lake that's surrounding Denis right here. And King Me'amen was greatly disturbed and troubled, and he stayed in his room for 4 nights. His servants brought food for him, but he refused to eat, and his servants brought advisors, but he refused to speak. And all those around him became worried, even as more of the city became empty. And finally, King Me'amen called for Guild Captain Iram of the Guild of Healers, and Iram was studying in the guild. And he obeyed his king and came to him quickly. "Guild Captain Iram," the king asked his healer, "tell me that you have read the histories of our people and been instructed in the ways of your guild. Tell me that not all of Denis is running in fear of a sickness that can be defeated." "Of course, my king. It is for these reasons that I have not left my class since I first heard the sickness appearing in the district where the trees appear. I understand that our father, the honored Guildmaster Jason, worked for 6 years even after the Book of Bireni was found. He worked day and night and stood by our people as he sought to save them from the sickness that had even infected our king. It is for these reasons that I will not leave this place until the sickness is no longer in our city." "Tell me whatever you need, and it will be yours. You are the most honored in this palace today, and Denis will be saved because of you." And King Me'amen was filled with joy, and he ate from the food his servants brought him and spoke with the advisors who came to speak. As it was, Iram spent day and night without sleeping for 4 more days. And on the 5th day, the cure was found, and the sickness was deadly no longer. And King Me'amen gave the Guild of Healers to Iram, and he was known as Grand Master from that day forward. Shemef, Anim, and Raman were restricted from the Guild of Healers and never again allowed inside of it or of the palace of any of the king's dwellings and structures. And King Me'amen ordered the surveying of a new section of the city to be called Nehwaril. And this section was to be away from the city so that any sickness brought from the other worlds would not be brought to the heart of the city, but instead away from it so that fear would not spread again. And he ordered that the story of Grandmaster Iram be taught to all of those who were instructed by the Guild of Healers from that day forward, so that none would forget the power of Denis and the great strength their medicines and learning. Seems a good place to stop. I filled out a few words that I wasn't sure about, but overall I feel pretty good about this one. Yeah, that was a good story. I wonder if there's going to be more in here. I want more stories. Okay. I'm not seeing anything on those. Oh, is this a crack or is it okay? It's just a big crack. So this is where more of the books would be. But they are not. I suppose I'll go down the stairs. Oh, don't tell me that all that's blocked off. Am I gonna have to jump? Yes. Jumping seems to be the only option. I wonder, there seems to be a big tarp down there. I wonder if I can land on the tarp. Or if when I jump off that edge, it's gonna be like, no, you can't go down there. And make me link away. Okay. Here's the jump off point. I'm just gonna have to go. What? It stopped me. Is there any other place I can jump from? Maybe this one? Ah. Yeah, to get down there would be awesome. Here, I'll jump up. Whoop. I'll jump up on the desk. Or it doesn't let me? It sends me straight over the desk, no matter how I try it. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's because it is feasible for me to use the desk as a means to jump over that, so it specifically doesn't want me to. I thought for sure that using that one jump point would be perfect, and it's not letting me go off the stairs. Oh, there's so much potentially down there. Well, I might be able to see it later depending on what places I can link to. There seems to be ladders and a bunch of things. I thought for sure that having that one broken spot right here would allow me to... Well, let me take a look. If I drop straight down, I'd still drop right onto the stairway. And if I try jumping off to one side or the other, it's still going to put me on the stairway. Well, that's a shame. So I'll go out here. And I will go to the opposite path, the one that was down this way. No, forgot. I have to go up here. I love all these lights. Love to decorate. The hands, it's the hand symbol again. The hand, I mean, the hand as a symbol in general is just a profound meaning. It's probably, I mean, even from caveman times, like pre-civilization, just the act of spreading ink all over your palm and fingers and plastering it onto the wall. It was a means for you to sort of create a unique print of yourself. I mean, you can identify a lot of animals and beings based off of their tracks. Okay. Huh. Oh, good. They are stairs. From what I thought it was just a steep incline. Okay. It seems to show that weird tower. That's the bridge. Alright. Well, we can run through here. Oh, that's what's causing the reflection. My notebook. Beautiful blue lights. Oh. Ah. Are these all books? Man, that would be awesome. Some are missing though. Oh, these are names. I wish I could memorize Sini as easily as I could memorize their number system. Let's start over here. Oh, wow. I just found... This must be, like, the Hall of the Kings. I might have to have an entire episode dedicated just to reading these.